I walked 11.2 miles in one day. Last Friday was the most mileage I walked in a day ever in my whole entire lifetime. I'm 24 years old, and that was the biggest milestone of the year. I can't believe, and I can believe too, that I walked 11.2 miles. It was over a span of 7 hours. So I started walking at 10:45 a.m. and ended at 5:45 p.m. So, and I also took a little break in between. I took a 2 hour break in between my walk. And I can't believe that I did this in 7 hours. I did 3 walks. So I did 1 mile walk by myself. I met up with a friend and walked 3 miles with her. And then I met up with my provider, Sarah, for 7 miles. And that added up to 11 miles. And the point two was just walking around the house throughout the day. But oh my gosh, I'm going to tell you my reaction in the day because I was so thrilled that my phone keeps track of the mileage I walk each day. And once I hit 10, I was like, wow, I'm almost close to 11. And that was my record, but I beat that clear. And wow. So, first of all, I walked in my neighborhood to meet up with my friend. So, I didn't have the car that day, so I just walked to meet her. And then we walked around my neighborhood. And then I was wearing my Crocs. And then I came home, and then it was just to relax for a couple hours before my provider came to my house. So then we walked across the bridge when she came over to my house. And then we walked down to the downtown waterfront. And then we walked along a couple miles to a different bridge that was far away too. So I'm not going to tell you the names just for privacy reasons of the bridges, but I can't believe I walked 12.2 miles. My record was 10 point something, but I am fit and strong and my legs are not sore. I felt fine. I was not really surprised that I didn't really feel so tired, but my endurance is used to walking 6 miles in a stretch of time. But wow, it was a bit rainy too that day, but it was a cool, breezy day, and I was just very impressed. My reaction was when I hit 10 miles, I was looking at my phone because it said 9.8, 9.9, and then when it hit 10, we were like near the intersection, and it was like kind of a busy road, and I was looking at my phone, and that minute it changed to 10 miles. I was like, oh my gosh, I was like jumping up and down. I was like, oh my gosh, everybody hit 10 miles. And then when we walked to my house, we were like closing up at 11 miles. And then when we hit 11, I was just like freaking out. I was out of control. I was just like screaming and jumping up and down. I was just like, oh my gosh, I did it. And it was just very amazing that I got to share that milestone with Sarah, even though I didn't walk the whole 11.2 miles with her. She was part of the day. But I know I did this for myself, and I did this without her either. She was a part of this big milestone, and I'm so glad that she got to witness my reaction because I was over the moon excited. I was so hyper. Sarah had to like calm down, and then we were like sitting on my front porch when we were ending a walk, and I was still like hyper and excited. I showed my mom the mileage, and again, Sarah had to like calm down because we were having family over for dinner. So my cousins and my aunt and my uncle came over with one of my cousin's girlfriend, and they came over in separate cars, and it was like a span of 10 minutes. So I ended working with Sarah at 6 p.m., but they came at like 5:45, so they're like slowly coming to our house like 5 minutes after we arrived, and we were just sitting down, and then I was like still over the moon. The UPS guy was out, our neighbor was out. They were like, what's wrong? But I was just like, I don't really care. I'd rather be loud and like, celebrate this big milestone and moment in my life. But And I wore my tennis shoes with wool socks, and that was a good sturdy thing I had to do because I didn't want any blisters, and it was somewhat cold and rainy, so I didn't even pack food or any water, but I made it through. But I just wanted to share this story because one day maybe I'll beat my record, 11.2 miles in a day, in just 7 hours. Like, that's just crazy. 7 hours was the span, but really I walked 11 miles in 5 hours because I didn't walk within these 2 hour break. So anyways, I'm so impressed. So that is so crazy. I hit 11.2 miles in 7 hours, but it was just a big milestone, and I'm glad that it proved me wrong that, like, no matter if you're, like, wanting to wear your Crocs or your tennis shoes or, like, walk in the rain or, like, walk alone, like, there's so many options to, like, prove yourself wrong and, like, just make that happen. It was just a very cool moment to celebrate, but that's my story, and I hope you like it, and I'll see you again soon.